Vintage Dolls, it's Emelyne. So today I'm going to do a Q&A. I wanted to start off the new year with kind of updating you guys on life. The last time I did a personal type of video was last year, and my life has totally changed since then. So much was going wrong last year. If you guys have watched that video, just look for the thumbnail with me crying. It was like, I don't know, my life has just completely changed. My outlook on life has changed, my attitude on life has changed, like everything. And I feel like I've learned a lot, and I really want to help you guys because I know a lot of you guys are probably in the place that I was in last year, and it sucks to be there. I totally feel you. So I wanted to just be able to help you guys. You guys also though have tons of questions about different things going on in my life. I always get questions about my religion, when I'm getting married, my job outside of YouTube, stuff like that. So I just kind of wanted to address everything in one video. So if you guys want to hear all about this, then just keep watching. So the first question I got was if I would ever cut my hair. If you guys are new to my channel, then you wouldn't know, but my hair is normally down past my ribs. I did just get it cut. If you guys can see how short it is. I found a picture on Pinterest, and I was like, you know what? I felt like my long hair was almost like a security blanket for me. I kind of hid behind it, and I always told myself like I wasn't gonna cut it, and I didn't want to go outside of my comfort zone by cutting it. So I found a picture on Pinterest that I loved of this girl's hair, and I was just like, I'm going to do it. So I went to the hairdresser. I told her I was super nervous. So because of that, she ended up cutting my hair not as short as I would have liked it to been. So she cut it probably to here, and my mom was with me. My mom also was like, don't cut anymore, just sleep on it. So right when I got home, I knew I wanted it way shorter. I used to cut my hair back in the day. Connor came over on Sunday for our 8-year anniversary, and he is like very good with that kind of stuff. He has like a beard that he like maintains really well. He's like super precise with it. He's cut his cousin's hair. So I felt very confident having him just chop off a few inches. So I have a picture, I will insert it, of my hair on the floor. So he just chopped it. He did such a good job, obsessed with it. My hair is like parted a little differently, and I'm so glad I just took what is it, like not a leap of faith, but like I don't know, I just got like a brave spark in me, and I just decided to cut it. The next question I get asked a lot is about my religion. So I am a Christian. My dad actually was a pastor for 15 years of my life. We started out at this one church by my house, and when I was about, well, backtracking a little bit, Connor's family also went to this church. So that's how Connor and I know each other. We have grown up with each other in our lives forever. Our parents knew each other before we were born, when they were pregnant, so we've always just been in each other's lives. So when I was about 7 or so, my dad got the opportunity to leave the church that we were at and to go to a very tiny church. There was only 12 people there, but he felt led that that's what he wanted to do. So we all kind of packed up our bags. We didn't actually move, but we had to travel to this church, which was about 40 minutes away. So every Sunday we went to this church. My dad built it up. He did such a good job. He like completely redid the inside of the church. My parents are house flippers, so if you guys ever watch the shows like on HGTV, like flipping houses and stuff, that's what my parents have done their entire lives, which is why I have such a beautiful place. My dad completely redid this place, and he also is a real estate agent. So that is kind of what he always did. So for him to do that and then go and being a pastor was definitely a huge change. He still like did houses on the side, and he always was a Sunday school teacher. So it's not like it was like something super random, but it definitely was a huge change for all of us. We made a lot of sacrifices by doing that, but I think it was really good. So shortly after, anyway, we moved up to that church. Connor's family decided to come to the church with us too, because it's actually a lot closer to their house than the church was that we had originally went to. Because Connor and I actually live an hour away from each other, so we kind of are in like a little bit of like a long distance relationship, which I will talk about because I get so many questions about it. But yeah, so anyway, when we left my dad's church, there was about like 100 people, sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less. So it was crazy. For 15 years of my life, my dad was a pastor. Just a few months ago, maybe like 6-7 months ago, is when he retired. So since I'm talking about my relationship with Connor in that last little segment, I'll just kind of address all that stuff now. So Connor and I have been dating for 8 years. We have never broken up, which I'm very happy about. And I think a lot of people always ask, how have you never broken up? How have you guys stayed together? And I'm not against breaking up with people. If you just feel like it's appropriate to take a break because you need to kind of recoup and re-find yourself, then I think it's really good to take breaks. But I don't think that you guys should break up like every 5 seconds. I think that's why a lot of relationships don't last, because people are just so eager to break up with each other. And the thing is like, when you're married to someone, you're not gonna be able to say like, oh, I'm done with you, let's just get a divorce and then get back together, and then get a divorce and get back together. Like, you can't do that. So one of the things that I think keeps our relationship really strong is just communicating with each other. We definitely have had plenty of issues. It's not like I'm sitting here saying like we've never had an issue, we're all peachy and happy all the time, because it's definitely not the case. And I feel like even now, like when we have like little disagreements and stuff, we kind of like laugh at it. We're not like, we just don't get into serious fights like that. So I think it's really important, if you're feeling some sort of negative feeling towards your boyfriend or girlfriend, I just think it's really important to address it right away and just to talk to each other. And don't do it through texting, because we have tried to handle things through texting before, or even just through talking on the phone, and I feel like it's not the same. I feel like when you're in front of the person and you can actually see their true emotions, then it's a lot different. So if you're angry with each other, I would just try to meet in person and just talk it over. Like I said, Connor and I kind of have a bit of a long distance relationship. It's obviously not super long. We're not states apart. We're just counties apart. He lives in a different county than I do. So we're about an hour away from each other. Our first few years of dating, we only would see each other at church. And so we would only see each other for like a couple hours a week at church. So it was very, very hard because we couldn't drive. Connor and I started dating at 15 and 16. When we were 13 and 14, we started talking to each other, and we knew we wanted to date each other, but we said we would wait until we were 16 years old. And then we started dating at 15 and 16. I feel like when you're in a sort of long distance relationship, it's really weird, because I didn't know any of his friends. I didn't know who he was hanging out with. I didn't know what types of girlfriends he had, and stuff like that. So it definitely was super weird. My best piece of advice I could give you guys for that is to just trust who you're with. If they ever cheat on you or do anything like that, then obviously they weren't the person for you, because whoever's gonna be the person you're gonna be with forever would never cheat on you because they love you too much. So I've always kind of said to myself, if he ever did anything, like clearly he's not the one, and he never did. I also think that it's really important to set boundaries with each other and also talk about what you like and what you don't like. So for instance, Connor and I have always been on the same page. We don't like smoking and we don't like drinking. Now that we're 24, obviously we'll drink, but we have never been the types of people to like get drunk or go out and like do anything crazy. And we both have never smoked, and that's something I'm like very, very strict about, and so is he. And we both kind of had the agreement, like, if you ever smoke, like, I don't know if I could still date you. And I know that seems very drastic to some people. Definitely, like, I'm not trying to say that we don't like people who smoke or do stuff like that, because obviously, like, we have friends who have, and we're not there to judge them. At the end of the day, that's their lives. If they want to do that, then that's totally fine. But we both just knew that we didn't want that in our lives. And I think especially because my dad being a pastor, I have like watched him take in so many people who have just completely messed up their lives from being addicted to drugs and being alcoholics. And so from a very young age, like, we would have people come into our house and my dad would counsel them, and I would just see how messed up their lives were from drinking and smoking, and it just made me never want to do it. So I am very happy to say that I've never smoked, and I only started drinking when I was able to. But getting out of that, I know a lot of you guys always ask when are we gonna get married and if I'm gonna put him in a video. So I've mentioned this before, the job that he has, like a very serious job, he can't be in videos due to like safety reasons for myself. And I know that sounds like super weird and sketchy, and everyone's like convinced that he's like a Secret Service guy or like an FBI guy, but he's not. But it's just, it's what he's doing right now, so he can't be in videos. I'm kind of hoping that eventually maybe things will change a little bit, but so for now he won't be in videos. I'm not really sure what we'll do for our wedding video because I'm obviously gonna post it, so I don't know what's gonna happen with that. But talking about engagement, like I said, we've been together for 8 years and we're going to get engaged soon. I'm not really sure when, but his word he keeps saying is soon. So I have no idea. I'm kind of hoping it's this spring, but maybe it's this summer. It's definitely gonna be this year. So I'm really excited for that. Once I get engaged, you guys know there are going to be tons of engagement vlogs and wedding planning vlogs and stuff like that. So I'm just like super excited for that time to come because I just feel like it's gonna be so exciting and it's something I've been waiting for literally since I was little. I've always been one of those girls that just knew I wanted to get married and have kids right away. So I'm just like super excited for that. So I get a lot of questions about my job. So last year, like I had mentioned in the video where I was just like, nothing was going right. If you guys have just found my channel, last year was really rough for me. I had 3 deaths within 10 months of each other. Last year, I posted the video just kind of explaining everything that was going on. And I made a decision to get a part-time job just so that I could get out of the house and try to take my mind off of everything that was going on in life because there was just like too much happening. So I needed something to just get my mind off of it. I needed something to get my mind off of YouTube because my channel wasn't doing well. And there was just a lot going on. So long story short, I ended up getting a part-time job. I'm not gonna tell you guys what the job is, but it's just something like little part-time. I work anywhere between 2 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week if it's like busy season. And then I'm also a cupcake teacher. So I teach cupcake classes, but thankfully this year has been such a pivotal year in my life. My channel has been doing so much better that I don't even need to have those 2 other jobs, but I have decided to keep them just to get myself out of the house and to interact with people and to do something like, not brainless, but just to do something that's not so focused on YouTube and like my business, because YouTube really is like your own business. So I just need something to kind of get my mind off of it once in a while. I want to give you guys some advice on transforming your life from a really bad time to a really good time. So like I said, I mentioned before, last year was a really, really hard time for me. And the only person that can change your life is you. So if you have friends around you that you just feel like are not adding to happiness of your life, then you need to let go of those friends. Something that I have found that really helps me is doing meditation, which I know can sound like a little like hippy dippy-ish whatever, but they actually have like Christian meditation podcasts on Spotify, and I've just been listening to those and I feel like they really help to relax me. Something else that helps is actually this book, and it is called 7 Lessons from Heaven. And so basically like the tagline of the book is how dying taught me to live a joy-filled life. And I think really like what I've done in the past year, it just made my life a lot more simple. So I've watched like lots of documentaries, like minimalist documentaries. I really want to live in a tiny house, side note, but Connor would never do that. Watching lots of like minimalist documentaries and getting rid of like tons of stuff in the house, like you just feel so much better. And also just doing things for yourself. A lot of you guys have said you notice like something different about my face, and I've never had like terrible acne, but I have had like bad breakouts and stuff, but I never thought it was like that obvious. Maybe I just look different because I'm happier, but I have been like treating myself, and I go and I get facials now. I go to the Little Owl Spa, and Kiki has just like completely transformed my face. Like I just feel like my face is just so much better looking and just more radiant. Even just something like getting a haircut or getting a massage, just like doing things for yourself. I think that's really important. I think it's the new year, so it's a great time to start. And I think that instead of focusing for the new year on like changing your body or getting abs or whatever, I think it's really important, instead of focusing on having like a diet to look better, is having a diet to feel better. I think it's really important that we actually put food into our bodies that make us feel good. And instead of looking at working out, like trying to build more muscle in your body, I think you should work out so that you feel better. Because I know for me, when I was going through all of my stuff, I was eating terrible food, I wasn't working out, and I think just doing things like going to a yoga class and just like relaxing is so nice. And then just eating really healthy food that makes your body feel good is so important. So I also got a lot of people asking if I'm gonna stay in New York or if I'm gonna move. Connor's job that he has is really good here in New York, and he could do this job in any state, but just New York has really good benefits. So because of that, we'll probably stay in New York. I have always dreamed of moving to South Carolina. Ever since I visited when I was younger, you know, like when you just know something inside of you and you're like, this is what I want in life. At that young age, I was probably like 13, but I just knew that that's what I wanted. I wanted to move to South Carolina. I wanted to open up a cupcake shop there. And I still really want to move there. And it's kind of hard because I know it's probably a dream that's never going to happen, just because we have to stay in New York for his job. But luckily Connor does get like months off at a time from his job. I came to an agreement that if this is something I still want to do, on the couple months that he has off, we will go to Charleston, and not necessarily move there, but probably like rent out an Airbnb for like a month, if not the full 2 months. That way we kind of are doing what he wants by staying in New York, and then I get my little bit of happiness every year. My camera's about to die. I feel like there were so many questions I still did not even answer, but I got really in depth with a lot of them, like the major questions that you guys wanted answered. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys next time.